Since its release, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has been copied to death. The first game in recent memory to actually innovate on Breath of the Wild's groundwork is Elden Ring. And while Elden Ring does a lot right, it missed a key ingredient that made Breath of the Wild's exploration such a core facet of its gameplay. Don't get it twisted, the lands between are beautiful and chock full of interesting content and battles, but I eventually found myself tired of exploring it. 5 years ago, when I was playing Breath of the Wild for the first time, I never had this exploration fatigue. But why? I think it comes down to 3 major factors: build customization, open world rewards, and getting set up. The Souls series is famous for its build system, the ability to customize your character with unique weapons, armor, or stat arrays to make them really OP, have a fun gimmick, both or neither. In other Souls games, this system works fine, but in an open world context, where the game is trying to motivate you to explore the massive world they set up, it kind of falls flat. Suddenly, the game has no way of tailoring rewards to you because it has no idea what would be useful to your specific build. Now, whenever you enter a catacomb or an enemy encampment or whatever, you spin a prize wheel, not knowing if what you're going to find at the end is even usable. So many times, I've thrown myself into a bullshit hard catacomb boss again and again, only to beat it, getting another goddamn wand I don't have the stats for. Breath of the Wild solves this issue by having one build. Link can use every weapon that he picks up, and everyone who plays the game has the same set of powers. So while this limits you from Elden Ring's complex and unique builds, it means that the developers can tailor the rewards for the player. During my time playing Elden Ring, probably like 40% of the rewards I found were useful to me. I'm a lot less likely to explore if odds are that what I find is just going to be another wand I can't use, or a summon that costs more mana than I even have. Breath of the Wild does a great job of making each diversion worth your time. Shrines, for example, are guaranteed to have a spirit orb at the end of them, which you can use to upgrade your health or stamina. This is in addition to a supplementary reward unique to the shrine, like an armor piece or weapon, which, by the way, you can always use. There is never a feeling of looming disappointment going into a shrine. It's pretty much always in your best interest to do so. I mean, yeah, you are always guaranteed to get runes from a catacomb boss in Elden Ring, but the amount they give you always feels a little bit underwhelming, especially if it's the sole usable reward from a dungeon. The solution would be labeling each catacomb and encampment to give you an idea of what rewards are inside. Maybe a glintstone catacomb to signify sorceries, I don't know, a crypt of the two fingers for incantations, or even like a samurai tomb for katanas and bows. Each of these catacombs could also have like uniquely flavored enemies and environments according to their theme. This would give a fresh coat of paint to the repeating tile set of the current catacombs. Tailored rewards give the player more motivation to explore because they know it'll be worth their time. But as the game is now, the further I got into it, the less I found myself exploring. Part of that was due to me uncovering much of the world already, granted, but Elden Ring is big enough where there's basically no shortage of ground to cover. The main reason why I stopped exploring was because I got to a point where I was pretty much set up in terms of gear. I had a great armor set, a nearly fully upgraded weapon, and an upgraded mimic summon, so I knew the game wasn't really going to be able to offer me anything useful anymore. I also wasn't about to switch weapons or builds either because of how stingy Elden Ring is when it comes to handing out weapon upgrade stones. Breath of the Wild sidesteps this issue entirely through the use of the weapon durability system. Wait, no, don't. Look, not to say that the weapon durability system is perfect, far from it, but because weapons are finite, it means that you can never really get entirely set up like you can in Elden Ring. You constantly have to keep plundering enemies for weapons because there will come a time when you run out of them. The impending threat of running out of weapons forces you to explore to find new ones. I know, I've sounded extremely negative towards Elden Ring throughout this video, but despite all my criticisms, I still cherish this game. I wanted a true open-world Souls game since I found out that the Undead Parish connects to Firelink Shrine. It's also the game that rocketed Souls into the mainstream. I mean, I have friends that haven't even touched a Souls game who played and loved Elden Ring. But as I played it, I couldn't help but feel a little bit disappointed with this specific aspect of it. Because the reward system fell apart, all I had to lean on to encourage me to explore was just my personal desire to see everything the game had to offer. And don't get me wrong, that carried me quite a distance, but not all the way to the finish, I'm afraid. So, if FromSoft tries to do open world again, I hope that they continue developing the Souls conventions further to better fit the genre. you.